Here comes the avalanche.
Only shooting stars break the mold.
Hello everybody and welcome to Brawl Stars. I'm Amy the Amazonian. Today I'm playing with Tifa Lockhart from Final Fantasy VII. She doubles her power whenever a land enters play, which means that you want lots of lands to enter all on the same turn. And you're not even using it to ramp, you're sacrificing your lands just to get that landfall trigger. And you're doubling her power so you can double her power so you can double her power. Also, maybe buffing her up a bit with a giant growth or an audacity first so that doubled power is even bigger. This deck is a landfall deck, but it's an unusual landfall deck, looking to get an all-in-one kill, usually on turn 3 or turn 4. It's aggressive, it's fast, and it seriously wins a lot of games. So let's take Tifa Lockhart into the queue and lock in with some landfall. Omnath, Locus of the Royal, a landfall commander that's going to be entering play, dealing damage based on a number of elementals, and eventually drawing cards, growing your elementals as it does. I have turn 1 ramp here, which is nice. I've got an auto-sacking land for buffing Tifa up, and I also have some protection. I can't stop counter spells, which they do have access to blue, but I might be able to stop burn spells, which is, I'll say, similarly important. I will just play that first, and I have royal treatment to potentially give her hexproof. Also +1/+1. Into the north. Okay, now I gotta see if I can get lethal next turn. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. Yes, okay, so Tifa, I'm gonna go ahead and make you a royal, because I'd rather be royals. It's turn 3. Just a reminder. I could do this, or I could do Spring Bloom. Let's go Spring Bloom. It's prettier. Boop. And Tifa does the Tifa thing. Swinging for 32. She's too powerful. By the power of 2. Karn, Scion of Urza. This is going to be a colorless deck, I assume, ramping up and making constructs. I have a lot of landfall here, but that's not really what I want. I'm gonna mulligan to try and find some like more versatile cards. I love this. We've got Chocobos. I got Chocobos. We keep. Chocobos also have landfall related abilities. This one is going to be getting counters as it goes, and this one is going to be doubling the landfall abilities, meaning that I only need to do half as many landfalls to win the game with Tifa, which is sweet. Are you gonna kill it? There's not that many kill spells in colorless. There's very little interaction in general. Aw, Sir Ginger! The Chocobo grows. Get down Tifa. And I can offer them a trade here, but I don't really feel like I need to. Sir Ginger can be eaten, and if you eat her, she'll gain you life based on her power. Chief of the Foundry, discounting your artifacts. Oh no, making your artifacts stronger. That's fine with me. Because I got this Utopia Sprawl off the top, I'm actually going to be able to Chocobo, or I could Scape Shift. Or I could Scape Shift. Lands, am I right? Yeah, my opponent knows what's up. We Scape Shift, and we're going to grab a Broker's Hideaway, Cabaretti Courtyard, and Riveteer's Overlook. And landfalls are going to land and fall. This deck is explosive. It is possibly the fastest winning deck that has been consistent for me in the, 8 games I've played with it. Tifa has won in all of them. I say specifically Tifa has won because I ran into another Tifa that went first and she won. Turn 3, 128 damage? No problem. GG, Carnex, for putting up with me. Bristly Bill Spine Sower. Very similar to my deck. This is actually what I started my Tifa deck with. I already had a Bristly Bill deck. I said, yeah, you know what? This is pretty much the same thing. So let's go ahead and start Holla Get Sprawla. Hello, Bill. I have defense here to help protect Tifa. The Snow Waste is a surprise. I'm not sure what kind of build deck this is. I'm guessing some sort of weird artifact build deck. Eldrazi ramp? It might be Eldrazi ramp. Because there's actually like an Eldrazi ramp card that requires snowman, or not snowman, colorless mana. And you put the snow in because of the blizzard, whatever the heck it's called. I should know names of cards. Okay, Traveling Chocobo. Nice, that's a fetch. I'm going to start with Blossoming Defense. Grab that fetch off the top. Landfall. By the way, all these landfalls are getting doubled because of Traveling Chocobo's ability. I'm going to play this Llanowar Elf and then immediately sacrifice it. Oh, wait, I already have lethal. Well, now I have more better lethal. Good lord, what is happening in there? 192 damage. All according to Kaikaku. What was that, turn 3? Again, it's Vivi. This deck will probably be able to, well, kill Tifa a couple times. I do have a bit of protection in hand, a Snakeskin Veil. Also, that's to help her grow, and then Lumber to bring lands back. But I'm not sure how I feel about this hand overall, with them going first. Me only playing that a little later. I'm going to mulligan. I got Scythe Cat, Cub, and Loot. These feel like they're going to be a little bit more resilient for a longer game. And, of course, that's a turn 1 Ragavan. We love turn 1 Ragavan here. Or maybe it's just me who loves turn 1 Ragavan. Ooh, Emperor of Palamecia. This hand is 1, 2, 3, 4. I'll go for Tifa. I don't think she'll survive, but I'm gonna go for her. I like turn 1 Ragavan, but only when I play it. I Narset. Narset stops me from drawing additional cards. She's also going to be digging and digging and digging, finding a mana drain. They can have 2 mana since this taps for mana, and that taps for, well, that hits me and makes a treasure. But they tap that for an opt instead. This makes me think this is Vivi Storm. Alright, Pickaxe, it automatically equips. Giant Growth for an extra 3. And I've mentioned this before, but you need to make sure that you are putting the +2/+2 before the double. Get your +2/+2 and then the double. And 28 damage. Turn 1 Ragavan, turn 1 Schmagavan. Chulane, Teller of Tales. This is a little funky of a hand. I'm still going to keep it, though. A Chulane is casting creatures, draws you a card, gets you a land. I'm going to use this fetch to start to get the Llanowar Elves in play. Behold, Elf. Birds of Paradise. They're ramping. Tifa. This is very uncomfortable, but I'm going to put my forest back in hand. 1 land's all I need, I guess. Bloom Tender. And swords to plowshares. Darn. Taken out. Well, at least I got a ghost quarter. I'll replay Tifa. And here comes Chulane very early. This will now tap for 3 mana. We're dipping, flipping, and equipping. Loot. Full control. We want the +2/+2, but I also want the blossoming defense. For the double. Okay, now we're good. Destroy my own land. Yes, please. Wonderful work. This deck is stupid. A Bristly Bill. Bristly Bill gonna be doing landfall things just like us. They go first. Could have some turn 1 ramp. I also have some turn 1 ramp. I have a Lumra to bring back all of my sacrificed lands. Audacity to pump up Tifa. Ooh, a turn 1 Elvish Mystic. Allow me to introduce you to fancy anime Llanowar elves. Elf. Meet Elf. Kyrian Beast Caller, going to be scaling up. Iron Apprentice also has counters, then moves them around as they die. This also moves its counters around when it dies. I will play this, play that, and make sure that Tifa is as audacious as she wants. She now has a base power of 3, which means that doubling it is going to be even more powerful. Delighted Halfling, a fine Hobbit. If they have a fight or a bite, though, they'll be able to take out Tifa. That is a Shadow Spear for some trample and life gain. Let's see. I can get 3 landfalls this turn. So 3 times 2 be 6 times 2 is 12 times 2 is 24. So not enough. I might actually save this Misty Rainforest to be defensive. And how do I get the triple landfall? Would have been Urza's Cave. Sacrificing it in order to get the automatic sacrificing land. Ooh, Barkhide Troll. Kyrian Beast Caller keeps growing. And each time this hits, it does mean I'm going to need more damage for Tifa. But that's fine. I got this. It's just 37 life. I can deal 37 damage, right? Maybe with a limit break, especially. All right, let's break the limit. Give her +2/+2 before we start all our sacrifices. And I could use Reclaimer for a landfall fetch, but I don't think I need it. So we will go for Misty Rainforest, grabbing a forest. Double. Toil and Trouble. We want one of the automatic sacrificing lands. Broker's Hideout. You're saying I need 44 damage? No problem. I have 80. See? No problem. The first sliver. Is it going to be first sliver combo? Is it going to be the first and only sliver? Maybe Tybalt's Trickery, maybe Monstrous Vortex? Will it actually be slivers? Only one way to find out. We're gonna have to play against it. This hand is awesome. Turn 1, we play Llanowar Elves. Turn 2, we have a Tifa, and we also have Audacity. We can even sacrifice that Llanowar Elf to a Flare of Cultivation for extra ramp on the next turn. So let's see how deep I can go. Okay, I'm actually going to play the halfling instead because they could be running counterspells. I just don't know. Okay. One Tifa. I don't have a real way to, like, protect her here. I could go for the Audacity, or I could play the Llanowar Elves. I'm going to go for the Elves instead, since the Audacity can be played on any turn. As long as I do it before the landfall. That's kind of the timing I want to make sure I have for it, because the additional 2 power is going to scale up. So that's 2, nice tapped lands there, little gain lands. I don't have any protection here. That is important to note. Still gonna go for it. One big girl. One big girl with 38 damage. Excellent. They didn't have interaction. It's how we win. It's Tifa, which means it's going to be a race. I have a little bit of a bite. I have Scythe Cat to grow Tifa, Roiling Regoth, and 3 lands, but one of them is one of the auto sack lands, which is going to be a little funky here. I may want to start with it, but because I have Scythe Cat and Tifa, I think I'd rather wait. They started with Adventuring Gear. Okay. There's 2 cards like Adventuring Gear that have these landfall abilities. One of them automatically equips, and the other one has to be manually equipped. So I do not have lethal off Tifa next turn, so instead I'm going to play Scythe Cat Cub. Yeah, just make sure when you're playing something like Adventuring Gear, you have, not under graphics, under gameplay, auto order triggered abilities off. Because you're going to want to make sure you order the plus ability before the double. Yeah, Skyclave Pickaxe automatically equips, and this one costs 1 to equip. Oof, they hit me with a ram through. And that is tough for me, since I don't have a good way to kill her here. She's up to 6 power. Urza's Cave can be sacrificed and can actually get an automatically sacrificing land in order to double and then double again. Which should be enough to kill me. Nice. Good game. Triggers, 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 triggers. Death. Ketramos, the new Dawn, is going to be removing my cards frequently because, well, he draws cards when you exile things. I have Escape Shift here, which I do really like, Oracle, Nissa, and I think that this is going to be a slower game, but because I'm up against what I'm going to call a very removal-heavy deck, I don't want to focus too much on, well, just getting things built up quickly, knowing that they could be removed at any time. Guess I'll start with this Misty Rainforest. I know I'm just burning it right away to get out Saz's Chocobo on turn 1. I could have used Cavern of Souls named Bird, since there's probably not many counter spells in their deck. And she's kind of a bird. R.I.P. Saz's Chocobo, who I learned is a girl Chocobo. You can look up pictures of Chocolina. Okay, she's been expelled. You would soy a little boyd? Okay, no Chocobro. You would Choco no. Alright, that's a blink card. Pit of Offerings is going to be removing cards from graveyards. They want it to tap for a color, so they're also removing from theirs. And the more cards that are in exile, the more Ketramos can do. Oh, you have chosen wrong. So this person used Unidentified Hovership on Nissa, which is not what they should have done. I'm going to use Cavern of Souls here, and it doesn't really matter what I'm going to name here. So let's name Horse. And we tap, and we tap, and we tap, and we tap, and we tap for Scape Shift. Should tap that one for green, paying a life. Doesn't really matter as far as I know. Now, they could have, by the way, there is a way for them to freely exile this with Solitude. I don't think they have it. So we Scape Shift and we win the game. Another early win, despite the removal. The Wandering Minstrel. It's 5-color towns. Makes your lands come in untapped, so you don't actually have to play around the towns, though Wandering Minstrel will get you some bonuses if you do. 2/2 elementals and a buff to your entire board based on a number of towns you control. There is a way to turn non-town lands into towns as well, but I'm not sure if they'll be playing any of those. Wandering Minstrel in play. I'm not sure how much removal this deck is running because it is 5 colors. I could wait with the boots. I'm just going to play Tifa here. It's what I have for this turn. Fuel Tank Feaster to discount things in hand. Playing a fetch. Okay. I've got one landfall. Azusa lets me play 2 more lands. And one of these can be a fetch land. And we want to put the boots on first, because that's 1 more power. The fight land back in my hand. And swing in, see if they double block. I don't know, the first Wandering Minstrel I ran into was a Chart card. That was unusual. Okay, they're just blocking with Wandering Minstrel, so that does not kill Tifa. They have 4 mana here, and a discount of 1 to one of the cards in their hand. And taking an extra turn. And exiling both my creatures. Completely fair. Thankfully, boots. So let's see if they play a land. It's a tapped land. They don't have their commander out. So I think Nissa is going to put on the boots and swing for lethal. Booting up for victory. It's Yuffie or Yuriko. Yuriko is a ninja's deck that cheats itself into play, never has to pay its command tax, and drains your opponent based on the cards that are on top of your deck, putting them into hand, kind of like the Snorse that's in Standard right now, and making your opponent lose life. So that is a flying creature, which I don't have a way to stop here. With Tifa, I don't have a good line for lethal next turn, so I'm going to play Nissa instead. Yeah, if I did Tifa there, it's like I could get double, 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 which isn't lethal unless I have like a 1-mana trick first, I think. Thankfully, they probably will spend this turn ninjutsuing out Yuriko. Or just killing Nissa. Okay, yep, killing Nissa is smart. Stop me from being able to unload this entire hand. I can go for Tifa this turn. I could go for Oracle this turn. I don't have a haste enabler out. I could actually kill Thousand Face Shadow too, which I feel like would cut them off from their game plan, but I want to use this to tutor the land. It's a very good trick for that. So I'm going to play Oracle. Ooh, Skycliff Pickaxe on the top. Chrome Mox, more mana. Charm for counters. No, no, no. I'm not using Charm for the +1/+1 counter. I use Charm to search for a land, because it doesn't have to be a basic land. It can be one of those automatically sacrificing lands, just like comes into play. Bam. Where's the lands? That's Tifa's limit break. We know they have a fatal push, which means I can't get through here. How does Tifa interact with the pickaxe? I don't know what you mean. She gets additional power and then you can double it? Ooh, hey Satoru. Lands? Oh my god, where's my lands? That's a problem. I promise there's lots and lots of lands in this deck. Yeah, make sure if you're using pickaxe or similar that you have in your gameplay settings auto-ordered triggered abilities turned off. You think I should put some lands in this deck? I think there's 42 lands. Do I need more? Do I need more lands? No, I don't need more lands. Thousand Face Shadow is swinging in. They could have a ninjutsu in hand. They don't. Ninjutsu would get them a card draw off Satoru. And they also got a trigger from Yuriko. They've got up to 4 mana, 5 mana now because of Dark Ritual. Allosaurus Shepherd. Okay, Tireless Provisioner. I'm not going for the kill this turn because I don't trust them. They're a Dimir deck. I think I'm right not to trust them. It's going to be one of those, like, if it hits kind of lethals. But I could just go on to the, like, normal landfall game plan. Are we good? They can't counter it, but they can kill her. They have tons of mana. They bolted this in. And I don't know what it's for. The answer was they had a counter spell, but not a kill spell. So why swing in and get lethal? Works just fine for me. GG. It's Amalia, and this hand does have ramp, and it has Traveling Chocobo in it, but it doesn't have a third land, so I don't think I can keep it. I'm gonna throw it back. Okay, I got birds. I got loot. I got limit break. Let's make it work. I want to start with Birds of Paradise over Saz's Chocobo, I think, in this one. But Amalia's a life gain deck, so... It's life gain, but it's an Orzhov, so it usually has, like, some good removal. Yeah, I think I want the early Tifa. If I were to rebalance Tifa, how would I do it? I would take away her trample. Okay, here comes the Chocobo. Using up one of these fetch lands. And we'll have Tifa. Nice. She sure has trample. Oh, Ailey. Not Ailey the person I know, but Ailey Eternal Pilgrim. I don't see that very often. Cool. All right. I think Blanchwood is the way to go for this. And then we can bring it to... Put full control mode on. Because before the double happens... I'm going to give her 2 additional power. So she's at 18. And it's not lethal, but it should mean that the Saz's Chocobo is lethal next turn. I don't know if Blanchwood's worth it in this deck. I put it in for kind of like... for kicks. Just because she kicks. Okay, well, they got another blocker. They're bringing back Ailey. Not turn 3 lethal? Chat, don't be so disappointed. Maybe they won't block, and then I'll have lethal. Author's note, they blocked. Ooh, but they have removal. That's good. They also will have some chump blockers soon. Hi, Amalia. I can ghost quarter my own lands to get more. More triggers, more better. See if they have more removal. Recurring a Death Toucher was pretty good for it. Sunblessed Healer is going to bring this back. It's also got lifelink. So they're essentially at 9, and they have 4, 5, 6 toughness between things. I'm not going to be able to kill them with my current pieces. And I think I'll just hit this Xander's Wake right now. Could I have held priority for the entering of the fetch to find a forest before the first doubling resolved? Did I miss a stage in the middle on my previous turn? I may have. Ooh, Morbin time. That was from Xander's Wake. Amalia coming in. Sunblessed Healer coming in. I'll block the healer with Loot. And Loot's getting that gonjoed. Good news about that means they don't gain the 3 life. Hi, Skrelv. Okay, so now they have 6. Playing that as a land versus doing that. Yep, this is better. So I'm going to hit the Morb. Ghost Quarter, my own forest. Yes, please. And Rampant Growth. And then hit for 12. I still got there. Choco, Seeker of Paradise. I have a kind of more slow and steady hand here, which I think is okay. I'm fine with this. Choco is birds. You attack with birds, you get lands. Lands trigger some birds to have landfall abilities. You've seen some of those birds in this deck. This hand, like, I don't have turn 1 ramp. My Scythe Cat Cub is probably going to come down before Tifa because I don't have a huge way to, like, generate the additional mana. But then I can get out Nissa, I can get out Palk, make additional lands. The Scythe Cat Cub will make the Tifa huge. Hello, Billiam. Bill. I got a backup. You know, without, like, the crazy other pieces here, I might actually want to just put everything on Scythe Cat Cub rather than Tifa. Yeah, I'm gonna start with Scythe Cat Cub. Like, bringing this out first. I think I'll go for sharing the love on this turn. They each give each other a little hit. Hi, Choco! I could play Nissa first here. Yeah, look, they ramped too. And when Choco swings in, they might also ramp. Traveling Chocobo! They can play lands off the top, and landfall abilities will trigger twice. It's in my deck. I have a Choco deck, it's really cute. Somebody's asking, did I consider Groundswell for this deck? And the answer is no, because the landfall on it is essentially the same as just giving +2/+2, because of the way that Tifa is, which is to say very silly. Okay, Awaken. I can Awaken for X equals 3. I could Palk, get 2 landfalls, and Limit Break first. I'm gonna go for the Palk Limit Break. Alright, and let's put everything on Tifa. And yeah, that's lethal. What do you expect? This deck, it does. It goes. It's Vivi again. I will keep this hand. And I'm gonna try to get out a turn 1 Tifa. I haven't done that yet before. Exiling, I think the Spring Heart Nantuko. And here's Tifa on turn 1. think y'all know what Vivi does at this point. You cast spells, he grows, gets additional power, and you can also ping your opponent and then use that ability to turn that power into mana. Good for them, they had a bolt. So I could use Spring Bloom Druid here to ramp, but I'd really rather wait until Tifa's out. So I'm going to do kind of the boring thing here and just play Haywire Might. Yes, that was a well-timed bolt. Always play cheap interaction in your decks. Yup. Foretell. I'm gonna go for it again. I know I'm leaving myself very open to said interaction, but that's what the deck does. It's very much like you do or don't. Do or die! Here's Vivi! Is this a free spell? A double spell? What kind of spell is it? What did you foretell? They could play a Mox, get a power, get a mana. Here we go. Chrome Mox, that's going to get them up to 2 mana. 1 there, 1 there. And that's blue being put into play. Spring Leaf Drum. They can also tap Vivi now for 1 more mana, so they have 3 mana up. Stalk Up, that's going to tap Vivi and probably cut them out of mana for the rest of the turn, but it's going to give them very good card selection, which doesn't make a difference if I win this next turn. That's a combo Vivi? Yeah, I have a feeling this is Vivi Storm. There's like Vivi more mid-range. That's how I had built Vivi. And then there's Vivi Storm. If you win. Okay, listen. We start with Giant Growth. Okay, Bloomer. So 4 gets doubled twice. And then gets doubled twice again. Who here is good at powers of 2? The powers that be. Oh, I guess I didn't even need to play the Fabled Passage. Yeah, we had even more damage where that came from. Vivi obliterated. Loot, the key to everything, is going to be getting card advantage based on the number of types they have. The more types they've got, the more cards go into exile that they can play that turn. Usually played with a lot of landfall and things that allow you to play those extra lands, which is kind of nice for them because there's things like Dryad of the Legion Grove, which is a creature and an enchantment. You can play lots of cheap artifacts, artifact creatures like Haywire Might. Lots of great cards. Because I only have 3 total lands here, I am going to use the Bridgeworks Battle as a land. They probably do have some interaction in the deck, and while I could wait, I'm not going to. We do or die with this deck. Inti! Nice. As they discard things, they'll put things in exile. I guess we'd start with Harrow here. And then on the Harrow, I'll put full control mode on. Oh, I guess I actually could have done it in response to that first landfall to get more damage. I should have. Should have, didn't. Yeah, so I missed out on an additional, like, 2 damage on that first double. Which means I missed lethal. Hey. Yeah, I should have done the Blossoming Defense before any of the landfalls had resolved. Yeah, that's turn 3. Because that's a Harrow that got me the extra land. Party Thrasher is not removal. And let's see. Splendid only gets me back 2 lands here. So that'd go to 4. This would also go to 4. I think Invasion of Zendikar is the right choice. Just forces them to block at least. Listen, just because sometimes I don't do the math so good. But wait, there's more. By the way, this lets you cast things from exile with Convoke. It's very fun. By the way, that was a fetch land, so they're now at 1. And they're digging. They need a stomp. They need a lightning bolt. They need something to stop her. So did you find something? They got 3 mana. Loot can prevent 2 damage. It's traveling Chocobo! Oh, perfect. We've got Chocobo music playing. 1, 2, 3, 4. I declare a thumb war. 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? Tifa! She wins. Celeste Rune Knight. Celeste is all about casting creatures from your graveyard or reanimating creatures from your graveyard in order to get +1/+1 counters on all your creatures. I'm gonna start with this Llanowar Elf. Bam, there it is. I've got Tifa, and I think I'm gonna play the land first so I have that snakeskin veil. There we go. I can protect her. Yeah, this is the Celeste from the Commander set. Tifa is protected. I played against one Celeste before this, and it was just all kill spells. It made no sense. Okay, so they're tutoring here. They're in white, so they could have gotten, like, the fetch that, or sorry, they could have gotten the, evoke creature that just, like, comes out and wrecks. I don't think they have it, though, so I think I have lethal. We Misty Rainforest, we get our landfalls. Spring Bloom, more landfalls. Ah, excellent. Lethal. Again. The only thing that stops a Tifa is another Tifa. That is what we have established. The Tifa that goes first wins. Most of the time. The fastest Brawl Stars. I have 45-ish minutes of footage because about 1/4 of my videos so far, and this, I shit you not, is just me entering the matchmaker. Cheap first strikers don't win once you increase her toughness by like 1. Serarak the Arclich. I will keep this hand, and even though I'd usually like to save this Grazer for an additional landfall, I'm going to play it on turn 1. Or just kidding, no I'm not, because they're inquiring about Kozilek. They inquire, they can drop any of these 3 cards. Grazer is my early ramp. Royal Treatment is my protection. Here we go. 420 graze it. Yes, I could Flare of Cultivation there to get more mana, but that does not actually do what we want to do. We want to save that for when we have Tifa about to attack. So here's Tifa! And they eat her. Okay. That's fine, I have enough mana to play her again. Serarak is usually a combo deck, just trying to, like, loop a Serarak over and over and over and over and over. Hi, Shuldred. I certainly don't mind losing 2 life here. Alright, let's see. Give her 2 counters. Double to double to double. Double to double to dum. Not quite lethal. Okay. Tifa, you're so silly. Are you gonna kill her? They're a mono black deck, and I sure have 3 mana. We draw. Baboop. Babwomp. Kerplow? I could either do the, punch or the ramp. I'd rather do the ramp. Do I win? Not necessarily. Okay, I do win. They didn't have a removal spell. They were just gaining 2 life. Cool. Victory. Another Tifa Lockhart! And unfortunately, they go first. The Tifa that goes first tends to win. I've got a ram through, that's removal, but I don't have the things that would get it. I do have a Splendid Reclamation with 2 different fetches. Doesn't matter. Alright, I dug and I dug and I dug and I didn't quite find what I wanted. I will keep this and I think drop the loot. And keep the Explore. Bristly Bill, you're gonna carry me home, right? I had some turn 1 ramp. I looked for my turn 1 ramp. How come I only ever go second against other Tifas? Because they won the die roll. It happens. I could go for Bill or I could go for birds here. And I have the Fabled Passage on the next turn. But I also might just die on the next turn. Let's find out. Does Tifa do a kill? Turn 3. This is usually where she goes. This is where she does the thing. Adventuring gear. They're making sure they're leaving that up rather than tapping it, because this can get them a landfall. And this is going to get them 2 additional damage on each landfall. Nice. So they're going to be getting +2, double, and double, which means lethal. That's lethal damage right there. We can reach across the table and shake their hand. We'll say good game while they go through the motions and lands. Am I right? They adventure 56 damage. That seems like lethal. That seems like lethal. Falco Spara Pact Weaver. I'm going to guess it's Bant counters, maybe removing counters from some of those new enchantment creatures. I don't have turn 1 ramp, but I do have a Bristly Bill. I have Entish Restoration, Tifa's Limit Break. I like these cards, though they likely do have some pretty good removal, being in Bant colors. My guess is they were mulliganing for early removal or for early ramp. Birds of Paradise. Yeah, that would do it. Do I think I have a Tifa lethal on turn 3? One, two. I do not, so I'm going to play Bristly Bill. One mana. More ramp, Lanor Elves. And I certainly have 2 mana up. Let's go for Tifa. Make her grow! I can't protect her from just kill spells or exiling spells with Limit Break, but I can give her +2/+2. That's 5 mana that they've got there. Agent of Rafine. Ooh, okay, stealing. I haven't seen a Falco in a while either. I don't have, like a hexproof or anything here. I'm gonna spread the love because I have lethal on the Tifa. Because this is 3 more lands. There we go, Wandering Emperor. They're gonna take out Tifa.
I'm not overconfident. You're just underwhelming.
I don't have any protection for her here. I could just make her twice as strong.
I am almost
And do you block Bristly Bill? Cool. I'm still gonna use the Entish Restoration here. As I kind of like said before. Bill good too. I actually put one on the Grazer. Nice. And I have 2 sort of fetch lands here. Urza's Cave I can use to get one of the automatic sacrificing lands. Shire Terrace, I can get a basic. Falco Spara has a shield counter, can get more counters. Wandering Emperor, what you got? Plus or minus?
I have got new moves to teach you.
Bolting that in. Okay. I'm fine with that. Oh, yes, these are cards. If they did block Bristly Bill, that would be lethal. But wait, are you stealing? I mean, a lot of cards in my deck are ramp, which are good for anyone to take. And I wonder if they'll get rid of Wandering Emperor here. I think I probably would. Or, sorry, like, get rid of her to get rid of Bristly Bill. I'd consider it. Yep. In response, I'm going to crack open the Shire Terrace to get the +1/+1 counter onto Tifa. It's a little bit less impactful than using it as she attacks, but it's more of like the long-term game plan there. Oh, look, she gets to be a 6/4. Lucky her. Cheek kick. Alright, tapping for 3. Bant? She's Crawworm. She truly is Crawworm. Wow, getting a land back. Huh. One, 2, 3 mana. If they don't have anything, they'll die. But I think they have something. I just don't know what it is. Okay, it's swords. Sadly, tripling that, not lethal. Tifa! They can still play off the top. They've got counters they can remove if they want. A 1, a 2, a requisition raid. They all get counters now. Do I win next turn? I should, yes. But it depends on what they have. Because that last card in their hand could be removal. Okay, I was gonna go for like the Urza's Cave, lair stuff. I'm gonna go for Lumra. See if they do anything in response. Yeah, they've been very good about having some ways to interact with this. They're putting her back into hand. So rather than sacrificing the cave there, I'm just gonna wait. Tifa next turn. Returning something into my hand. Oh, hey, I can animate Shifting Woodlands. Nice. They have had interaction. I think that interaction was from the top of their deck. Yeah, they removed the counter from Llanowar Elves for it. Oh, somebody's asking about playing Choco. Did I have trouble with it? So my first iteration of Choco I had trouble with. I took out a lot of the good cards and just added a bunch of one-drop birds. And now the deck wins over half its games. Because birds. It's just kind of cute. At least Lumra doesn't have trample. She doesn't need it. Tifa's got it. Bird good. Bird good. I could have used this to put something back into hand. The Overlook? Yeah, but I don't think I need to. Because I already have lethal off the fetches here. Like this one. And this one. And I'm not going to even bother with the layer of the Hydra. Swing in with all of these. It absorbs 4 whole damage. They could exile one thing from a graveyard, which is important for shifting woodland, because it does target, so I can't turn it into the fetch land. They would be able to eat it up. Yummy, yummy. I could have also hash-epped. Sacrifice that Shire Terrace. Get a basic. Oh, there seems to be some confusion in chat. Brawl is an arena-only game mode. It used to be called Historic Brawl. It's now just called Brawl. Because nobody played Standard Brawl, which is called Standard Brawl now, but was previously called Brawl. Also, I win. Took longer than usual, but I won. Y'shtola Knights Blessed. This is probably going to be a lot of removal, because a lot of removal costs 3 or more mana, and Y'shtola will drain your opponent's life when you play it. I'm going to go for the ramp on turn 1 with the Kami of Bamboo Groves here, since I have some really good other ramp pieces in hand, like, well, these. I'm going to save the auto-sack fetch land to try and get some Tifa triggers, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to see from them. I could go for Tifa this next turn, but I think instead, because I have a Mossborn Hydra, I'm going to play the Mossborn Hydra. This is the bigger threat, and it more efficiently uses my mana. I'll swing for 1. Yeah, we both have Chocobo pets. They also have the swagged up Y'shtola. I wonder if, based on this, they're running a bunch of the Sanguine Bond combos. Oh, or just good cards in black. By the way, if either player loses 4 life by the end of a turn, Y'shtola draws you a card. Which is very silly. Let's make this Mossborn Hydra start growing. I'm not attacking with it since they have the Unstoppable Slasher out. Just gonna chill, vibe, and hang. It's either player. It is either player, and it is each end step. So let's say somebody deals 4 damage to themselves with a Black Market Connection. At the end of turn, Y'shtola will be like, you lost 4 life, even if they gained it back, and draw a card. Which is ridiculous in a 4-player table. In 1v1, it's a little bit more like, oh wow. But it's not as, oh dang. I'll chump block with the Kami of Bamboo Groves on the Unstoppable Slasher, the hash-slinging slasher here. because I don't want to lose half my life. Am I going for the Roiling Regrowth lethal? No, because I don't trust them to not have removal, so I'm going to go for the slower, steadier Mythweaver Pock. Which turns my Verdant Catacombs into 2 Verdant Catacombs. I'll swing in with a Mossborn Hydra and a Tifa. Long goodbye on the Mossborn Hydra. Okay. I can bring you up to 16 damage here, which is not lethal, so I'm not going to do it. And normally with Pock, you crack open fetch lands on your opponent's turn to just get more out of them. But this deck is not about having more mana. It's about having more landfall triggers. Was it lethal with Flare? It was lethal if I killed Pock to Flare, but I would need to have known what removal they had. And if you think that you can correctly predict that they didn't also have a Fatal Push, cool. Don't bank on that. Yeah, this is not instant speed. Maybe that was a confusion. This is not instant speed. And sacrificing the Pock, I think, kind of on a whim, isn't something I really want to do. Swinging again. Razor Grass Ambush. All right. Do I have any of my Protectoids here? No. So far, they have not played any non-creature spells of mana value 3 or greater. Yeah, Rip Tifa. That's fine. I'll play her again. She doesn't cost that much. Hey, Alex Card. Thank you so much for the sub. Tifa returns. I like how my life total's lower because it's like, yeah, whatever. The slasher's slashing. Here's Istola. They will definitely get to draw a card. Ooh, free Sanguine Bond. Hold up, does that kill me? Almost. It almost kills me. If they drew another free one, oh my god, they got 2 of them. So this puts the cards in the top 15. Got rolled. Let's go. I finally lost to something that wasn't a Tifa. Oh, it took, what, 2 hours of gameplay for that to happen? And a very lucky draw. We love that for them. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Brawl Stars. This is seriously the fastest winning deck I think I've ever built and played. I had to play so many games in order to fill up this video because she just wins so fast, so consistently. I have a feeling that this deck is going to have a matchmaking that shoots right up with all the other aggro decks, your Magdas and your Bristly Bills, because she's really, really good. She wins so quickly if your opponent can't remove her repeatedly, and she protects herself pretty well if you're running things like, well, the cheap protection spells, your royal treatments, your snakeskin veils. You could even put in something that doesn't give extra power, like Tamios, and it would still work really well. If you're looking for my deck list, you can find it in the video description, and I have a feeling that after people realize how quick she starts winning, you'll see a lot more Tifa in the queue, so get your games in while you still can, before everybody concedes on turn 0, before she wins on turn 3. yeah, this is a deck that performed way better than I thought it would before I played this deck. I think I ran into one Tifa and I was able to take it down. Now I've seen a couple more, and yeah, she does some serious work. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a brawlful day.